So I'm Sarah Javoronic. I'm a senior planner for Salt Lake City, and I've been with the city for about 6.5 years, and I grew up in Western Nebraska.
I'm Nick Norris. I'm the planning director for Salt Lake City, and I've been with the city since 2007, and I'm a Salt Lake City native. So the affordable housing incentives is a project that the city started several years ago with the goal of addressing affordable housing issues in Salt Lake City. Over time, we know that housing has become more expensive. The supply is not keeping up with the demand. More and more people are moving into the city, and as a result, housing has gotten more expensive and fewer people can afford to live in Salt Lake City. So we came up with this concept of trying to incentivize affordable housing for two purposes. One was so that tax dollars that are invested in affordable housing can go further and create more housing opportunities that are affordable for more people. And two was to streamline the process so that projects that are including affordable housing were easier to get approvals and so that they could be developed quicker.
So there are 3 different kinds of incentives. There are, the first ones are in single and 2-family zoning districts. And so these allow for up to 4 units on a property. And there are also incentives that encourage people to preserve existing houses. And then in our multifamily zoning districts, the incentives allow for more density than would otherwise be permitted. And then in both of these zoning districts, there's an emphasis on form and massing. And so the incentives don't allow for developments to be larger than what would otherwise be permitted on the property. And then in some of our other zoning districts that permit multifamily housing, the incentives allow for additional height. And this height ranges from between 1 to 3 stories, and that's dependent upon the zoning district.
Families are finding it harder and harder to be able to afford to live in Salt Lake City. And we see that within our own families, with our own staff in the city and our own city employees who have to live further and further away. And as a result of that, their overall cost of living is going up dramatically. And, if people have to drive further because that's where they can afford to live, it's having profound impacts, not just on their household costs, but on our air quality, the congestion on our streets, our ability to maintain our roads, and an increase in those expenses for everybody. And so I think affordable housing is kind of the bottom of the totem pole that holds up our community. I think Sarah did a great job, and the team that helped her with this did a really excellent job in utilizing data and information to help paint the picture of why housing affordability is important. And other partners in the city, from our Housing Stability Division, the city's RDA, the council office, and the mayor's office, have all talked about the importance of affordable housing. And so we have that support already going in, mainly because the community is demanding that be discussed because it is such an important issue.